Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Let's go. It is time to come on in and let's have a little Q&A time. Woo! Hello, hello. Just waiting for everybody to get on in here. There's one. As soon as I see one, I feel good. I feel like this is going to work. Come on in, you guys. The water's fine. Be the first one to say hello. 14. Here we go. Here comes everyone. There's Kimmy. Hi, Kimmy. And Sarah. Good to see you. There's my girl Yvonne. She's my Whittier, California girl. And Caitlin, hello. Cindy, come on in. The water's fine. You know what Friday is, right? Friday is Q&A day, and we got some really good questions. I think you guys are going to be massively interested in all these questions. Uh-oh, I forgot them. Shoot. Okay, well, I'm just going to have to do it off my computer. I printed them off and then forgot to go get them. Oh, so no big deal. But, you know, at least this is why we like our computers. Hi, Linda. Letha, I see all of you. So good to see you. So yes, today is Friday, and today is a day that we just take a look at what's going on in the world as far as we're concerned. You know, it's our Q&A day, and I'm excited about this weekend. We have Mark's daughter, Leah, is coming tomorrow with her boyfriend, Danon, and we are about to make this room into a bedroom. So we're going to be moving some things really quick and getting everything done with the office stuff and putting it in Mark's office. So we'll have to be bunked up for a while. That's going to be interesting. I like having my space, but you know, you do what you have to do. But I love Fridays because I love your questions. Your questions are always thought-provoking, and it's obvious to me that you're paying attention, which I really appreciate. And one of the things that I love too is that, you know, we're winding down, getting ready for the weekend, and the weekend is always a time where, you know, we get to do things maybe that's a little bit different. And for us, we're going to be going to Asheville and hanging out in the Cool Cats area. So if anybody knows of any really great restaurants or places that we need to go in the Asheville area, let me know. We're going to be going out for dinner at some snazzy place. I don't know, but we're looking for massive hipster. You know, that's how we roll. We don't get out much, but when we do, we want to see some things. So that's what we're doing. And then let's see what else is going on. Just, you know, I'm going to just say this from my heart. You know, Marla and I are very, very good friends, and today she was really, really upset. This is just to let you know that we as human beings, we have hearts that break just like yours. And she is doing much better. I spoke with her on the phone. She's doing much better. And your prayers hold her up. So just keep those prayers coming. There's a lot to be praying for right now. And we know that God is at work, right? Amen. So today is Q&A. But before we get started, a dueling piano bar. That sounds like fun. Before we get started, let's not forget that Christine Tattage, like package, I did pretty much, has won this book. I am sending this to her. She's sending us her address, and that's going to go in the mail. She won it. And you know how she won it? Because she sent out this and shared this with everyone. Everyone. She sent it to public. When she shared, she hit the public option. She said a little something about it. And I said, wow, that Christine, what a sweetheart. And Christine won a book. So next week it might be you. And next week it might be the low carb book. It might be something else. I don't know. I even have some vegetarian books, you guys. I'm happy to give them out. Okay. So let's get busy with all of this. We've got lots of questions. I just want to give you a heads up. Anybody who is in the Hot Milk Club group, yesterday I did the big lesson. I did a big teaching on digestion, and digestion is so crucial on your weight loss journey. If you don't have your digestion dialed in, you're not going to get where you really want to go. There's going to be a lot of obstacles in your way. So please go and listen to that. It was about a 45-minute teaching. I answered a bunch of questions afterwards. And this is your privilege in the Hot Milk group. So Please be aware of that. You are going to learn a lot if you stay on top of those teachings. It's in the clubhouse. It's in the membership area. It's also in the Facebook group. Okay? And please share this video so that we can get more people into our world and help more. Because on Monday, guess what happens? We start the sprint again. Yay! And you know, the sprint is all about clearing the decks and starting over. How many times have you just, it's Monday, it's a new diet, and then 2 days later it's gone? That's not what this one's about. Not at all. This is because this diet, if you will, isn't about a diet. It's about the beginning of a lifestyle change. Amen? The beginning of a lifestyle change. It's understanding all the different things that we're getting rid of and putting in all the different things that we need. All of us are have nutrient deficits of some kind, and we're there to correct that and show you the path. We can't do everything in 7 days, And I have to say too, so every once in a while I'll get somebody who'll send me a thing that says, my nails are, since I started doing the sprint, my nails are breaking and I'm losing my hair. Well, I'm just going to say this. A good healthy diet is not going to do that. I promise you. Honest to God, a good healthy diet is not going to do that. And it can't do that in 7 days. We don't have those kind of supersonic skills. What we need to look at, by the way, what we need to look at is that we work from the inside and go out. Okay? So the change starts on the very, very inside and it starts working its way out. Understand that. So if, something horrible is happening to you, don't make that connect. That's not the connection you should be making. Don't be looking at the good things that are bringing you down. That's just not the way it is. So, and I had to say that because I see that stuff and it just makes you go, oh, come on, you guys, connect the dots. But I just, this is how your body works. I want to tell you that. Seth Godin is our quotester of the day. And he says, if you measure it, it will improve. How do you like that? If you measure it, it will improve. You know what that means? That means if you start out with a measurement, you're going to know this is where I'm starting, this is where I am in the middle, and this is my end result. Every time we have measured anything in our lives, it has been for significant reason. Can you imagine if you wanted to put build a garage outside and whatever you wanted to, build an extra room or a screened-in porch, whatever. Would you do it without measuring first? Just want to kind of put that into perspective. Anything that's important, anything that requires measurement, we're there. We've got the measuring tape out. We're writing it down. We're measuring it 2-3 times. Make sure we've got that number right. When we know our numbers, ladies and gentlemen, when we know our numbers, we can improve them. But until we know them, we can't improve them, can we? And we don't take it seriously. This is why we use 2 measurements in the sprint. By the way, it's free, starts Monday, savingdinner.com/sprint. It's right there, should be in the first, should be a link right there in the first comment. So go take a look at that. But we use 2 things. We use the scale and we use the measuring tape because the scale is only an itsy bitsy part of it. It's like calories. Calories are an itsy bitsy part of our metabolism. It's not the whole thing. And this is where people make mistakes. They get obsessed with the scale and they forget about measuring their body. I had someone in the sprint, I think it was our first sprint, who said, I was feeling very discouraged. The needle hadn't moved, but I felt like my pants were loose. She put the measuring tape around her waist and had lost 5 inches. So you see, sometimes you don't see it on the scale, but you'll see it on the measuring tape. Or you'll just feel it. Or somebody will say to you, my gosh, what have you been doing? You look like you've lost weight. Sometimes it starts here and moves its way down. Marla and I were talking about that. We should be able to measure our chins and our necks and everything. And as she sits in her chair and does her shows, everybody's always remarking. I watch the comments. My gosh, look at you. Well, yeah, that's what happens. We have these incremental weight loss and fat loss, I should say, because sometimes it's not about weight loss, it's about the fat loss. And that's what we're all about. We want to get rid of the inflammation, right? And that's going to come in a lot of water weight, etc. But we also have to take a look at getting rid of the fat. And the fat in the way we gear the sprint, it's all about targeting that fat. That fat's toxic, especially around your belly. It's got to go. And you can't get healthy until you can get rid of this extra pounds. And those extra pounds cause problems. You don't just, you have these issues. There are a lot of ways to have issues and health problems that come in because of the fat. The fat is the problem. And we go to all these extraordinary measures of getting, doing all kinds of things to the point of replacing hips and knees and what have you. And I've even had people who wrote me in and said, I have to have this knee replacement surgery, but my doctor wants me to lose 60 pounds first. Well, I'm thinking to myself, well, what came first, the knee or the 60 pounds? Maybe if the 60 pounds came off, that would help the knee. So we have to look at that. Now, that's not always the case, of course, but sometimes it is, because before we start taking parts of our bodies out, can we just agree that let's start with the weight loss first? We start with the weight loss, especially the fat loss. Maybe a lot of these things will dissipate. I'm saying yes. I say yes to that because I've seen it. I've done it with my own mother. I told you her story. They wanted to give her a double hip replacement. And I said, Mom, give me 30 days. She gave me 30 days, complete anti-inflammatory diet. I had her doing a smoothie every day. Pretty much everything that you guys see on the sprint is what I had my mother doing. Within 14 days, she said to me, I feel like a different person. And now understand, she was a tiny woman. She didn't need to lose weight, but she had inflammation out of control. And every time she turned in the bed, she would cry because of the excruciating pain in her hips. It went away 100%. And you want to hear what that doctor said to her? You guys are going to laugh. He said to her, well, I don't see the inflammation like I did, but you know what? Probably we should do those hip replacement surgeries anyway. You want to know what my mother said? I can't say it because this is a family show. It wasn't nice. And she swore in her 80s. So there. So let's always start with the root cause first. When we just go to the doctor and they start giving us all the things to mask the symptoms, what are we doing? What's happening there? I'll tell you exactly what's happening there. What's happening there is they're masking the symptoms. And it makes it so that you do not have to look at this stuff anymore, and you don't have to look at the root cause. And I'm here to say, wake up, sister. That's not it. We have to stand up. We have to take a look at what's going on. Instead of saying, oh my goodness, this is just this, and this. Well, maybe if we took care of the one big thing here, this toxic belly fat that we're dealing with, this extra 50, 60, 100 pounds or whatever, if we took care of that, maybe all this other stuff will go away. What a concept. This is not a fat shaming, guys. I'm not fat shaming. You know what I'm saying? I am saying that there are so many drugs out there. There are so many surgeries out there, and those are always seem to be the first line of defense rather than taking a look at what the real problem is. And not enough doctors are addressing this. I'm going to say that until I turn blue in the face. They aren't. They aren't addressing it. They're not saying, hey, lifestyle change. No. Nope. You know what they're doing? They're just going the easy route. Here's your medication. Here you go. See you later. 8 minutes in the office. We're done. You don't have to be that person, okay? Look up. Look at your own life. Look at your own drugs, your surgeries, your things. Look at your own body clutter and make a decision. And read this book, for heaven's sakes. Because you know what? I am finding that there are so many of us who have dealt with binge eating, food addictions, and this is the beginning. This is going to help you get your head wrapped around it, because it's not just about finding the right plan. Because the right plan, a lot of that is in between your ears, and it's also having a new understanding of how you need to treat your body. That's it. I think that should be a relief to you, especially if you're going through all kinds of side effects from all kinds of drugs. Question everything. Do not believe that MD stands for medical deity, because it doesn't. The end of the sermon here. Also, if you are in my Take Back, it's not Take Back Your Body I'm talking about. It is the Hot Melt Club. If you are in the Hot Melt Club, these little guys are all in the mail, with the exception of 9 people who joined late, which they'll be in the mail shortly. But these are the journals, and these are really fun. And I have a whole workshop on how to do it. I show you how to start your day with gratitude, how to take your goals, chunk them down into 90-day things so that you can make them work for you. It is so much fun, and I've got a recorded workshop, but I am going to do a live workshop for you as well. So, keep your eyeballs peeled for that, because it's fun, 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 fun. And by the way, the distribution center is open for business. So if you have something you want to order, go ahead and order it. Everything is here. We have a new package that is going to be landing on our doorstep on Saturday. Doris said she just got her journal today. Yay. We have a new package at landing, and the rest of our inventory should be here on Monday. So everything is going out. It's time to let's get serious, get our supplements ordered, and let's do some great stuff here. What do you say? I think it's fun. All right, Q&A. Let's do it. We've got questions, and I have answers. Bobby says, I am preparing for the sprint next week. I already know my body and blood glucose works fine with only one meal a day. I'm looking forward to planning meals and a menu through savingdinner.com, the menu planner for the future weeks. But for the sprint, how much soup, how much salad, usually raw spinach, and how little fat and protein do I need to consume for balanced nutrition? I want to make sure to feed and not starve my body. I know it's based on individually, but I'm not sure past that. Okay, this is Bobby. Hey, Bobby, I hope you're here. So this is a really good question because, the 1 meal a day thing is a good short-term approach to weight loss, fat loss, but it won't work forever. And at some point, you've got to shake the box and do something different. That's just the way it is. And it's also, your body gets used to anything that you do. And so the 1 meal a day, when I see somebody who's on the 1 meal a day and they're losing and it's working, they feel good and what have you, then great. The nutrition part, we have to supplement a little bit. We have to probably take a B complex, probably take, an omega-3 fatty acid, probably look at extra magnesium, whatever. But we also need to look at our bodies are able to utilize a lot of our fats when we switch over from being a sugar burner to being a fat burner. And so they can use all of that fat. Your brain is using those ketones and your body is starting to purr. It's getting to the ultimate fuel source. You're burning up a lot of fat and you feel good. So while you might not be getting a bazillion, all the nutrients that you would get if you were doing 3 meals a day, you are getting enough nutrition and you are not in the starvation mode. Okay? You are not in starvation mode. Keep in mind that when you're doing any kind of intermittent fasting, it's never going to be exactly like that all the time. It has to be changed up. We have to change it up and keep our body in guess mode all the time. Otherwise, we just get used to it and it's just another darn diet. This isn't diet we're looking at. We're looking at a lifestyle change. So what I would say to this, ride the wave. If this is working for you, then ride the wave. Keep doing it because it is working and it's effective. It will stop at some point simply because your body will be used to it and it'll be time to change things up. And then I'm going to say to you, okay, let's do this. Usually what I like to do is still say, keep in that extra long fast, skip your lunch, skip your breakfast, your normal breakfast, and then break your fast with one of our Target Trifecta smoothies and have that be your meal and then have a lunch. That'll work. And I also like people to, this is one of the things that I started experimenting with this with Marla, is doing these little collagen shots and doing a little bit of bone broth. 2 things that I like about that. One, it's a double shot of collagen right there. And we need that, especially when we're losing weight. We want to give our body the materials that it needs to bring forth extra tight, happy skin. This just adds to the equation. We're giving our body superior building blocks. We change our skin every 3 months, so why not give it what it needs? If we're constantly doing that and loading up on the collagen, which most of us have a deficit of anyway, then we're going to be putting ourselves in place to feel so much better. And it's not just our outside skin that benefits, it's our organs, it's our bones. We have more collagen in our bones than we do calcium. What do you think the calcium holds on to? This is why this is so important. So make sure that you're looking at that and ride the wave. Ride the wave. This is what it's all about. You will not starve. I promise you. Ellen asks, how do I know when my leaky gut is healed? You'll know when your leaky gut is healed when your digestion is on point. You'll know when the bloating is gone. You'll know when you have when you no longer have skin issues and rosacea like I did. You'll know when you're not feeling bad anymore or your joints are achy. It makes it really very clear. Your stomach is very responsive. It's letting you know, I feel good. It's letting you know, I feel bad. So leaky gut is one of those things that I think we have to constantly keep it in check. The reason we have to constantly keep it in check is because anything is going to permeate that gut lining. Remember I talked about this yesterday, and I told you that gut lining, if you take off a sausage casing, our intestinal lining is not that much thicker. You know, it's very, very thin, very pervious. I guess it was the word impervious, not impervious, but pervious, very penetratable. And things like lectins in foods and phytates and food allergies, whatever it is that you have, food sensitivities, anything can come in and disturb it. Even stress cause that food, the little junctures that close up your lining to open a little bit. And when it opens and a little piece of food goes running out into your body like it shouldn't, that sets off an immune reaction. Your immune system goes, oh my gosh, invader, get it out. Here come the antibodies. And we don't want that. When we are doing that, we're stressing our immune system. So it's really important to always be on track and always be thinking in terms of, I have a leaky gut, or my leaky gut might feel better now, but it might feel better if I just keep this up. So why stop? That L-glutamine, it's super helpful. Your bone broth, so helpful. While it's healing your gut, it's also giving you the nutrition that you need. It's comforting. It's going to stop you from binging. It's amazing. We have to look at these things. If we look at these things and start following these things and start correcting our digestion, things start to go so much better. So that's what I think about that. And you will know. You'll feel so much better, Ellen. Okay, Jill is asking, what is your opinion on using sugar alcohols like erythritol, xylitol in so-called keto baking as an occasional treat, maybe 1 to 2 times a week? Well, first of all, 1 to 2 times a week is not occasional. It's weekly, isn't it? So I say no to that. Secondly, have we not baked enough? This is a question that I often ask, especially any of my folks that, I've been a nutritionist for over 25 years now. And when somebody asks me about substitute type baking, I think, and you've got any kind of body clutter on your body, I'm thinking, haven't we learned our lesson yet? I made some almond meal brownies, for Marla and I, when she was here, when I first got here in July, and they were delicious, and everything about them was correct and was keto baking, and everything about them was wonderful. And let me just say, we enjoyed them. But it dug into me because it made me like, oh yes, brownies, green light. No, it's not. I think for any of us who have a food addiction, we need to write ourselves some pretty serious rules about what we allow and what we don't allow. Now, I do believe that for some people, these kind of things are helpful, and it's a bridge type of a temporary thing. But ultimately, for optimal health, we need to step away from this kind of stuff. We just need to step away because we need to get away from sweet. Sweet isn't helpful. And here's the thing, and you'll see another question that I have down here too about this. There's this thing called sugar dysregulation, and sugar dysregulation is basically when our bodies taste sweet and it has no calories, has no nothing to it, but physiologically, it's as if we just eaten, drank a cup of maple syrup and had some brownies on the side. It's our insulin still goes up, and there goes the blood sugar. It's not helpful. So the way to get rid of this is to start stepping away from these kind of things. Now, in my hot melt diet, the first few versions of it, it's 3 meals a day. It's starting with a smoothie, you have a lunch, and you have a dinner. And even though I advocate for intermittent fasting, you start with 12 and 12. So that works, right? I also have some recipes for fat bombs, which are, there's chocolate, there's almonds, there's, all kinds of things, and they're delicious. I've made them. And guess what else I did with them? I binged on them. I cannot handle them. And I'm finding most of us can't. Most of us can't. It's not just about me and what I can tolerate. It's about you and what you can tolerate. You have to write your own rules. But for most of us, there is something that's a trigger, that's a binge. And when I when Jill's asking me about this, first of all, I'm saying 1 to 2 times a week is way too much. If you did it once a month, maybe, or maybe twice a month at the most, that's 1. And 2, if you have any kind of a body clutter that you're dealing with, it's time to start stepping away and starting to start reframing it and looking at this and thinking about it. And the last thing that I can tell you about sugar, alcohol, erythritol, xylitol, any of them, is that if you eat too much, you will get the most deadly gas known to man. You will clear out an entire stadium. That's right. You will stink to high heaven, or you might get spontaneous diarrhea. If you want to go there, don't do it. Come into my house, baby. That's all. So, heads up, fair warning, this is what happens. So for me, it's if you need something, do a fat bomb. Put some time on it and say that's it. If one fat bomb a couple of times a month does it for you and that's it, and you don't have any more issues, you're not obsessing over it, you're not thinking about when the next time is, etc., 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 then you've figured out a little piece of your puzzle. Then have at it. But if this is just, to keep going the same way, it's not going to help you. And if you have sugar dysregulation, which you will find out by taking your blood sugar, then it's going to be a problem, isn't it? That's what I have to say about that. So thanks for that question, Jill. Lisa says, I can't understand why I have ongoing issues with constipation. Well, speaking of poopy, you guys can send me some little poops. I guess you can't send poops, can you? Nah, never mind. I can't understand why I have ongoing issues with constipation the last couple months. I stick to the eating plan and drink half my body weight in water and fluid each day. I use fiber mender daily and chia seeds in my smoothies almost daily. Never had this problem before when I ate junk food and overate. Ha, what do you suggest? This is from Lisa, of course. Okay, so here's the thing, and it happens, and I totally, poop happens. I know how to do this, right? We do have a tendency when we start to intermittently fast and we start to take our portions a little bit more seriously and we're not eating as much, there is an adjustment period, and sometimes it's a couple of months, sometimes it's a little bit longer, where we don't poop as much as we used to. Well, we're not packing in as much as we used to either, are we? Thank you, Kimmy, for the poopies. They're sending me little poop, guys. I love it. But yeah, I totally get it. It happens. The thing that I can tell you that will help you out a lot is if you drink, like you're doing, and you're drinking your water, if you add magnesium to your daily supplements. Now, about 800 milligrams of magnesium a day would be good. And if you're doing a magnesium citrate or magnesium malate, that's going to help more with the poop factor. Okay? Or, yeah, citrate and malate, yeah. Or you could do a broad spectrum where you get glycinate and all the other ones. You can do that, and that's going to help you also with sleep. But my point is that drinking that little bit of calm beverage or whatever, it will help as well. Movement helps a lot. And I'm not talking bowel movement. I am talking move your body, girlfriend, and get out there and do some exercise. A hot Epsom salt bath Really, really helps. For me, that was one of the critical things as I was making this transition, and I was feeling like Marla used to say, a little stoved up. I love her little sayings. And so when I'm feeling just like a little, like we gotta get things moving, it's drinking that Calm, which is a magnesium drink. You can buy it on Amazon, or it's adding make sure the Fiber Mender Daily is really good. And I would also use the chia seeds daily as well. I would also make some chia seed pudding. Super easy to do. It's like 2 tablespoons of chia seed with a little almond milk in it. Shake it up, put it in your refrigerator, and then have a little bit of that. And then afterwards, maybe a cup of hot tea. That will help as well. But just those little different things will super help. Also, you could give yourself a little belly massage, and it really, with magnesium oil, that will help a lot as well. It's just, we got to get things going again. You're eating less food. You've got good fiber going. You're eating your greens, all of these other things, but you're eating a whole lot less. So those are some of the things that can really help. So give that a try and see what you can do. So Joanne is asking, remember when we were kids and there was a food pyramid that had the fruits and the vegetables that are goods? Is there a new pyramid or chart that tells the truth nowadays? No. They have some kind of, like, they have My Plate or something like that, but go take a look at it. To me, what I want to say is that we have to build our own food pyramids. We have to get to this place of understanding that we are our own we have our own inner nutritional guru who is inside of us and will take us to that level if we start to tap into her and believe what she's saying. So we just keep looking at what is it that's going on in my life that's causing the needle to move, literally, on the scale. If that's what our goal is, if we're trying to lose weight or trying to stay optimally healthy, we have to start, again, evaluating everything. Now, while Dr. Boz will say that all fruit is evil, that is, for people who are on have any kind of inflammation to lose, any kind of anything, I would say that staying away from fruit is a really wise idea. The only time that you would ever dip your toe in the fruit department would be with some berries, because they have a lot of fiber, they're lower sugar, and they have lots of health benefits. They are a superfood. But again, you also have to offset the sugar impact that it has. And that is going to get your blood sugar going. Okay, so let me just say this. Anything like that is going to drive insulin. It's going to drive insulin. Insulin is your fat storing hormone. And your blood sugar levels then go up as a result of insulin, as your insulin surging, right? So nobody will die if they never have another fruit. I'm just going to say it out loud. Nobody will die if you never have another fruit. So vegetables, on the other hand, there is a bunch of good stuff in there. And I would take a look at the vegetable stuff way before I would look at the fruit stuff. And this is what I look at. We look at the target trifecta. We want protein, we want fat, and we want fiber. And we get the fiber from the vegetables, mostly green, leafy vegetables. Add in the cruciferous stuff, and you're pretty much there. All of that stuff is not going to lead you astray. I promise you. A little bit of tomato every once in a while, a little bit of carrot, but again, watch out, lots of sugar. And what I look at is, how does this affect my blood sugar? If you are trying to lose weight, and if you are of a certain age, especially if you're menopausal, perimenopausal, postmenopausal, your blood sugar levels are important. It's a good thing to measure. And you can measure it. You can get a blood glucose monitor. You can get it off Amazon for, probably $20-something or whatever. But it'll measure that, and it'll tell you exactly what's going on. You don't want anything that's going to make your blood sugar levels go up. You don't, because you won't lose weight. Your insulin, that's telling you your insulin has surged. In other words, the insulin, which is a messenger for your body, has said, let's store this as fat in case we need it for later. Okay? So unless you want your fat to store, which I'm pretty sure you don't, you want to keep everything low. This is why we do as low as we go with all the low carbohydrate vegetables, and that's pretty much where we get them. We love good fat. We love avocados. We love avocado oil. We love olive oil. We love some nuts, but you have to keep that low, because too many nuts, it'll make you nutty. What can I tell you? And if we have too much protein, that will be used instead to make our glucose levels go up. You see? Because in lieu of having the carbohydrates there, the next thing that our body starts looking for glucose is going to be the protein. And that's fine. We need to have the protein in there, but we just need to have lesser amounts than we thought, especially if we are eating in the hot melt way, which has lots of fat, lots of fiber, and a little bit of protein as well. Another one from Joanne. Do I cook pumpkin seeds? Yes, you do. You can take pumpkin seeds that come out of your pumpkin, which probably today is a good day. You can soak them in a little bit of salt water, and then afterwards put them out to dry a little bit, and then toss them in a little avocado oil. Put them in a 300-degree oven, and wait until they're nice and browned up, probably about 10, 15, 20 minutes. Just, watch them. Your mileage may vary. You can add a little bit of pink sea salt on it. They've got beta carotene, zinc, calcium, B's, selenium. They're full of stuff. But they have a lot of fiber, but they also, for a cup of them, a cup is 34 carbs, you guys. 34 carbs. Now, 12 of that is fiber. So I think this is a good treat for kids. This is something that they could munch on. Also, by the way, they also have a lot of omega-3 fatty acids and assorted B's in there. So make them for the kids, and if you use them, I would suggest that you go ever so slightly. I've used the pepitas, which are just the shelled pumpkin seeds. I've used them before on in a salad, and they're delicious. And they do have nutritional value, but so does a lot of things that have a lot of carbs. So if you're trying to keep the carbs low, pumpkin seeds are not the way to go. All right. So here's from Karen. This is a big one. Let's go with this. She says, hi, you've helped me so much. I'm slowly making small changes and I'm learning so much from you. A few questions. I've ordered the perfect paleo protein from you, vanilla and chocolate, and the hot melt mix. That's what this is, you guys. It's not watered down milk. It's hot melt mix. When you use these products, do you use additional MCT oil to the smoothies or the hot melt mix, or do you use the MTC oil in other ways? Okay, this is a good question. And by the way, in the hot melt mix, there is a little MCT oil. There is a little bit, which really helps with your ketosis. It gets all the factors that you want going with the hot melt mix. It's got the exogenous ketones in there, and it has a little bit of the MCT oil, and that mixture together is beautiful. It just makes for getting you that quicker into ketosis and keeping the carb flu away from you. Okay. But it's in the smoothies. In my recipe for the Target Trifecta smoothie, you can either use MCT oil or you can use avocado. You want to get some kind of fat in there. She's saying, or can you use it in other ways? Yes, you can. Now, understand, MCT oil means medium chain triglycerides, which means that it is used, the medium chain triglycerides are used immediately by the body. In other words, they're not stored as fat. Yay! They help with brain health, they help with circulation, they help with all kinds of things, including your skin, your metabolism, and on and on and on. Here's something that you need to look at though. If you take too much too quickly, you are going to end up with diarrhea. It's a little tough on the system, especially if you don't have a gallbladder. So I would say you would start with a half a teaspoon, and then maybe go with a teaspoon, and then maybe a teaspoon and a half, and work your way up. Ideally, you want to be at about a tablespoon, but please don't start there. It's sort of like the erythritol. You don't want to have that issue. Okay, so just keep that in mind. She said she was looking for it on Amazon and considered adding it into her new lifestyle changes. I've been making a salad every day for lunch. Instead of the carbs I used to eat, my stomach feels so much better. How do you feel about eating sour cream as a dressing for the salad? My dressing is so good, you will not miss the sour cream. I like to step away from the sour cream and the dairy and everything, especially during the sprint, because it can be so inflammatory. Now, not for everybody, but for most everybody, dairy is inflammatory. Marla knows when she's had too much dairy, she gets phlegmy and she's, coughing, and the next morning she's got it in her throat. I know it because I break out. You can have a little bit here and there, you can whatever, but dairy can be just such an enemy. And for me, the inflammation with way too much dairy in my life was like a full-blown rosacea. Marla's got the picture. I sent it to her a long time ago when I was going through all this. I was just at wit's end trying to get this stuff cleared up, and it didn't clear up until I got rid of the dairy. So keep that in mind. We, during the sprint especially, are trying to get rid of all the inflammatory factors. That's why the diet is so simple and so easy to do. You need to be looking at that. So instead of using sour cream, use a good fresh pressed olive oil. We have fresh pressed olive oil that we love, that we use. And there's an email going out for that soon, by the way. So you can get a free bottle if you've never subscribed for it. It's expensive. It's delicious, and it's probably the best olive oil you'll ever eat in your life. I say spend your money on the good stuff, and let's stop having this attitude that good quality ingredients are too expensive when we go out and we waste money on venti lattes and pumpkin fill in the blanks at where. We spend our money in dumb ways, and then when it comes down to getting excellent food, all of a sudden there's, oh, that's too expensive. That's not. I don't buy anything from the bucks, but I certainly do spend the bucks, if you will, on good quality food. It's a choice, always a choice. So do that. Make our salad dressing. The salad dressing is in the sprint. Go to savingdinner.com/sprint. It's a free program, you guys. It's free. 18 pages, I don't know. It'll tell you exactly what to do, exactly what everything is about, and exactly how to do it. It'll also show you how to get into our Facebook group. And it's fantastic. If you want to be encouraged and be with a group of women who are going to take you to the next level, this is it. This is it. And stop buying cheap food. You're not cheap. You're worth the good stuff, for heaven's sakes, even though she didn't say that. She also asked me, would you recommend pickled beets? I don't have a lot of weight to lose, maybe 5 pounds. I'm making better choices. And for health reasons, also have been noticing that as I age, I'm 45, the weight is slowly increasing. Yes, the weight will slowly increase. As you're perimenopausal, just wait till menopause and wait till after menopause, This is what you need to step away from that, and you need to just be careful. Pickled beets, unfortunately, they're not your friend, and they never will be your friend. So my suggestion is that instead of going with pickled beets, every once in a while, if you want to, you can go with a regular beet, but don't do the pickled beet thing, because they add sugar to it, and way too much sugar, and you don't want that. I'm 45, blah, blah, blah. Thanks for all the great advice, not only for our bodies, for our minds. You are so welcome, Karen, and thank you for your questions. They were thoughtful. Cindy has a question. Hi, Leanne. I watched your videos and enjoy them. I've been keto for maybe 2 months. This morning I made some low-carb keto cornbread made with almond flour and some syrup made with erythritol. I took my blood sugar after eating, 114. A few minutes later, it was 165. Can you explain this? Oh, 5 minutes later, it was 140. Okay, yeah, I can explain this. This is easy. So if you take your blood sugar immediately after eating, it hasn't had a minute to register. A few minutes later, it did, and boom, 165. What you have there, you've got the cornbread, and it might be low carb or whatever, but again, when we try to pretend, if we try to make food like this is the fake version, if you want to call it that, of cornbread and some syrup, with, again, erythritol, we're trying to pretend, we're trying to put a square peg into a round hole. And sugar dysregulation will find you out. It will find you out. Now, not for everybody. Some people can get away with it, but some people can't. And what this is telling you was that your insulin surged, causing your blood sugar to spike. That's a lot. It's too high. So we need to bring that down. And so stepping off and stepping away from this, well, almond flour makes this, and I do it myself. I make, I guess they're called fathead or something, fathead hamburger buns, because every once in a while I want a hamburger and I don't want it wrapped around lettuce. I won't eat wheat, and I won't eat low carb buns either. Have you taken a look at those? 45 grams in one of those stupid buns, and they taste like crap anyway. So what's the point? But every once in a while do something like that, but step away from this stuff, man. If it's sugar dysregulation, and if you have any kind of body clutter, this is not doing you any favors. This is just taking you down a different path. That's all. So, you guys are talking about my vinaigrette. Yes, Marla makes my vinaigrette. She put blue cheese in one of them, the vinaigrette that she made a few weeks ago, but then she found out that it wasn't doing her any favors. Marla is a investigator. She is CSI about this, always looking at what is doing this, what's not moving the needle, blah, blah, blah. And we all have to be like that. We all have to be like that. This is how we figure out our own unique puzzle. Everybody's got one. So that's what happened with you, Cindy. And I would say if you are 165 to 140, this is telling me that you really, you got to be careful. So, all right. This is from Michelle. She said, I listen to you and Marla every day as I work, though never to the live program. You both keep me inspired on many levels. I have 2 questions. First of all, I would appreciate clarification for including healthy fats through my day. I've heard you mention avocados, cold-pressed avocado oil, which can be used for cooking. Nuts, peanuts don't qualify because peanuts are legumes. They're not nuts. Olives, cold-pressed virgin olive oil, not to be used for cooking, but for dressings. Butter and ghee, grass-fed beef, and I believe you said wild-caught salmon. Include some healthy fats, omega-3 fatty acids. Am I correct in what I have remembered? Yes, you are an excellent student. Giving Michelle bonus points. Give Michelle some bonus points, you guys. Ding, 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 ding. You have discussed food sensitivities, and I'm hoping to avoid them by varying my fat choices. Are there any other good options? Yes. You can add sardines. You can add mackerel if you like. You can add chia seeds that has some good healthy fat in there. And I would basically stay to that. Now, you can add some nuts, but nuts can be a problem. Nut butters can be a problem. Ask me how I know about the nut butters. I had to get rid of them in my house because I can't be trusted. These are the different things that you need to look at, but you're doing a great job on all of these things. I would just stay with what you're doing. What you're doing that's a good variety of stuff. You've discussed, let's see. Secondly, you told us about how you healed your goiters. I have these also, though my thyroid numbers read in the normal range. I'm being checked for a possible, go away. I am being checked for, oh my goodness, how do you get that away? I am being checked for a possible uterine fibroids. What steps did you take to eliminate your goiters, and what can I do nutritionally? My doctor suggested putting me on birth control pills. Yikes. Or other synthetic hormones. I'm very disinterested. I'm 42. Okay. She said, I realize you don't give out medical advice and steered my question toward the nutritional aspect only. I will tell you, first of all, one, a goiter and a nodule are 2 different things. What a goiter is, essentially, is just a huge, big, fat, enlarged thyroid. Your thyroid just goes, inflammation. Nodules, on the other hand, are little bumps, lumps, whatever that you want on the thyroid itself. So there's 2 different things. I didn't have a goiter, I had nodules, and I had 3 very large ones. The way that I dealt with it was this. I changed my diet. I got rid of all gluten, all dairy, and I put myself on a pretty radical diet. I was very radical about it. I lost a lot of weight, and this is when I was, at my very best weight just a few years ago. And I felt really, really good. I didn't stop there. I drank a lot of water, cut back on the wine, grass-fed meat, tons of veggies. I mean, like a ton of vegetables, and intermittent fasting, but only really 12 and 12 is what I did. I was also doing Zumba, bar, and I had some stretching and whatever that I did every single day. I did some kind of movement every day. I also woke up every day and I meditated, spent at least 15 minutes in meditation. Afterwards, I spent time writing my I ams and writing in my journal and reading. I spent a lot of time on self-improvement and making myself feel better. I was also coming off of a place of being very depressed and being how, my everything was not going well in my life at that time. And that's really what moved the needle. And it took a while. They had to increase my medication for a while. This is what I take, by the way. People always ask me. I take thyroid. This is my thyroid, WP thyroid. And that is a bioidentical thyroid. It comes from a pig, because pig thyroids are most like hormone thyroids. And it's better than the synthetic. The synthetic makes my face round as a moon. And this stuff it's your body knows what to read. Your body's going to tell you if it works or if it doesn't. It made the symptoms go, all of the things made the symptoms go away. Now, you can see I have eyebrows. Yes, I have a little eyebrow pencil on, but I have eyebrows. These are my real, there's hair there. There was no hair there before. I had to have little tattoos there. I had no hair. I had all kinds of big gobs of hair. And now you can see, I've got a lot of hair. I always say people are asking me about my hair, and I'm going to give it its own fan page at some point, but lots of hair because of just getting all of these things in place. I also did supplements. I did smoothies. I did, good healthy fats. I did all the things that we are doing right now with our sprint is pretty much what I did every single day. And I moved it. Every single day, I got in my car and I drove. And I drove to the gym or the bar place. And I did something. I started with weight-bearing exercises as well. And I got everything down. I was wearing size 6 jeans. I was on my way to size 4s. How does that happen? And it does. And and I was 57 years old. So it can happen for you too. And it's just a matter of believing and being very, very on top of it and making it happen for yourself. That's it. You make it happen for yourself, and you make it happen for yourself by believing that it can happen, that you can go into remission, that you get a better medication going, that you tell your doctor, this isn't working for me. That you tell your doctor that you're not interested in having your thyroid out, but you're more interested in seeing what you can do to make the symptoms go away. I don't let anybody take out any of my organs, any of my anything, I had people telling me, you need to do this and you need to do that. I still have my gallbladder. I still have my thyroid, I still have all my things. And the only thing I don't have are tonsils, but everything else, all body parts are mine. So fight for your body parts. Fight for your thyroid. Fight, fight, fight. You need to do the work. You're the warrior. You know what to do. Excellence in everything. Excellence in everything. Your nutrition on point. Your movement on point. Your hydration on point. Your meditation. Your stress reduction on point. Now, that is especially true for anybody who has any kind of a condition. But it's especially true, too, if you don't want to have any kind of a condition. We have to bring our stress into the equation. We have to bring all of these things into the equation and understand that when we have these things, we're inflamed. Roberta's asking, what about someone with low weight with nodules? Same idea. You have to do the same thing. It's, it is a lifestyle management technique. And that's why I'm saying all the things need to be put into place. And the reason that this is so important is that nodules are an opportunity, if you will, for your thyroid to let you know all is not well here, that there's something amiss. And the body weight, our body weight is, is a symptom of having problems. So if somebody's underweight, that could be a reason too. There's Graves and Hashimoto's oftentimes plays into this. And sometimes, these autoimmune conditions, even though we have, full panels and all the other stuff, and those are supposed to help us and tell us that our TSH is good. Well, we start with the TSH, and that's usually all the doctors will do, but you need a full panel. You know, you need your free T3, you need the TPO, you need all of those things. There's a big blood panel that they can do if you ask them to. So those are the things that you absolutely have to take a look at. And, you know, have a practitioner who is used to dealing with people's thyroids and not just pushing them off or whatever and saying, you know, you're just whatever, you're just depressed, here's an antidepressant, or, oh, well, you know, the TSH is enough, you're fine. Or anytime somebody tries to just push you off, I'm talking about doctors, push you off and just say, here, have this, here's the medication that you need, and they haven't really truly listened to you, it's time for a new doctor. Just remember this, you're not a tree, you don't have to stay there. MD does not stand for medical deity. All right? Do we have a deal? I hope so. Okay, well, that's it. And I did it right till 2 o'clock. I have a consultation coming up in 3 minutes. So for one of my Hot Melt Club members, which I'm really excited about to talk to her. So I need to jump off. And I just want to tell you, listen for tomorrow. We're going to be jumping on. It is Soulful Saturday. Soulful Saturday. And I've got all kinds of great stuff for you. Go get your Sprint. savingdinner.com/sprint. It is free. It is free. You get a community with that. There's so many good things with that. It will change your life. It will change your life. Ask the ladies here. They'll tell you. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate all of you, every single one of you. Thank you again. And I will see you tomorrow for Soulful Saturday. Bye.